Hey friends, so I'm doing something different here that I have never done before, and that is a live stream. I don't have any viewers yet. I didn't announce this ahead of time because I honestly don't know. I mean, the video quality is obviously not that great because I'm using the built-in camera on my laptop. So I'm just kind of testing it out, and I wanted to just see how this works. I've never done one before. So, yeah, today is my birthday. I am 34 years old today, and I got this adorable knitted shrug that you see me wearing from my dear friend Allison for my birthday. She sent it in the mail. And so I'm really excited about that. And I also got a knitting machine. It's not here yet, it's in the mail. I don't know when it's going to be here because everything's kind of running behind. And I had cake today. I had a chocolate cake today, so that was fun. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. As far as like health goes, I'm still kind of not 100%. I'm definitely feeling better than I have been like the past few weeks, and I think it's because I finally sprung and got myself some earplugs for sleeping. And I woke up this morning and I had forgotten that I put earplugs in, so I thought that I had lost my hearing overnight, and it took me like a whole minute to realize that, oh wait, I know it's like such a blonde thing to do, but that's just kind of what happened. So I finally got some sleep last night was the point of that, and I'm feeling quite a bit better, although I'm still not feeling wonderful. Just dealing with like joint pain, and I'm like in the middle of a fibro flare as well. So like my muscles are all kind of tender and icky, but compared to like yesterday, I would say I'm probably like 60% better. So I'm doing a lot better than I was. Still not 100%. Would like to be doing better than this even. So all I'm doing right now for funsies is I'm working on a little crocheted scarf in this kind of chartreuse lime green color. And I made it, excuse the crinkling, as part of a set. So I have a friend, Miss Marion White Mouse up in South Dakota, who has requested these colors. I'm making sets for all of her grandchildren. So I'm making like a hat, cute little hat here. They're all different too. I've done different stitches, and I don't know if you can see the triangle stitch on there. It looks really cute on a hat. And then mittens, which I didn't have a pattern for. I just kind of made them up myself. And scarves. So I'm making 3 sets for her grandkids, and then I'll be making hats and mittens for her and her husband, Wilbur. And then I'm working on a blanket for Marion. I don't know if I'm ever going to get it finished. I don't know if you guys do that where you like start a big crochet project and it just feels like it takes ages and ages to complete. But this one I've been working on for almost a year and it's still not done. So I'm hoping that I can get it done before it gets too hot to work on, because I don't know, sometimes working on a crochet project in the summertime is not the most pleasant thing. I like to do small projects in the summer because it gets too hot. So yeah, that's just kind of what's going on with me. I do have a couple more projects planned, like right now. Oh, I did start this one too. Sorry, I'm a little bit like ADD over here. I am working on a baby blanket for a dear friend of mine. It's just the, what do you call this stitch? The moss stitch or the linen stitch or the woven stitch, I think I've heard it called. And I'm using paint box Simply DK in, I think the colorway is spearmint for this green and charcoal gray. I think it might have a different name than that, but so that's another project I'm working. I have a lot of like half done projects. I don't know. I don't have follow through for some reason. So that's kind of what I'm working on. So I've got the big blanket and the hat, mitten, scarf sets, and then that's one of 3 baby blankets I need to make because apparently everybody decided to get pregnant during quarantine, which is wonderful. I'm like so happy for all of them, but I have to catch up and like make all these baby blankets. And this one, I think it's kind of funny that I picked the moss stitch because it takes forever. She's actually due like next month, so I have to like hurry up and stitch that one before the baby gets here. And I haven't decided yet if I want to back it with like maybe some snuggle flannel or quilter's cotton because I mean we're in Colorado. It gets really cold here in the winter time, and I know my daughter was born in February, so she's still got several months of cold weather that she can use it for. I'm sure it would be a great blanket for like playing on too if I make it big enough, for like tummy time and stuff. I know they say that's super important for little babies. So if I'm not looking at the screen, it's because I'm crocheting while I talk to you guys. Honestly, my nerves are like I'm so nervous. I just don't, I don't know why, but the little light in the camera and then seeing herself on screen is like, I haven't done it before. I have been to a lot of live chats and I really enjoy them. And I know personally my experience has been that I'm not sitting there like judging the person and how they look and what faces they're making during a live stream. I'm just interested in the conversation. But since it's kind of just me, I think I have a few people watching, but like nobody's talking, so it's just me. I'm just rambling like a nervous person. But yeah, I do appreciate everybody, watching this later or being here now and watching it because I want to become more comfortable with this. It takes fewer spoons for me to just do a live stream or whatever. It's just like making a video without the editing process. So I'm able to do it a little bit easier. If there's like certain things that you guys would like to see a live stream about, please let me know. I know I want to make some videos about, oh, hi, Jackie. Thank you so much. I want to make some videos about like my top 10 items as a crocheter, my top 10 items as an herbalist, and my top 10 like eds items, which I have one of those here. I actually just got done using. This thing, you guys, is amazing. Absolutely amazing for pain. I'll show it to you. I just took it off a little bit ago, which is why it's still here on my bed. You guys are in bed with me. I hope that's okay. But what it is, sorry about all the crinkling noise. It's this little machine, and it's like a tens machine. It has tens on it. I don't know if you guys can read that or not. So it has IFC, tens, and then NMES modes. And my insurance wouldn't cover this, and I had to get a prescription for it. Oh, hi, Catherine. Thank you so much. But this thing, if you have any kind of pain, I highly recommend it. It's wonderful. It works kind of like a TENS unit, but what I love about it is this IFC setting. So I guess what it does is it sends like different strengths of electrical impulses to different points, and you cross the electrodes, and it creates this like patch of numb, which is wonderful. When my painkillers aren't working, that thing is what knocks out the rest of my pain and makes life bearable. The only thing I don't like about it is that I can't put it all over my body. It's just one spot at a time. So I usually use it on my hip or my back, whatever's bugging me worse in the moment. So that'll definitely make it into the 10 items I can't live without as a zebra video, but I just figured I'd share it because it's right here. Yeah, Jackie, it is amazing. I think, so let's see, insurance wouldn't cover it, and normally it would cost a lot more. But because I had a prescription from somebody that works with the company here in Colorado, I only had to pay $250, and they broke it into $25 payments for me. So it was really accessible as far as like price goes. And it's been life-changing. I mean, I wrote the company and told them how wonderful it was, and I don't usually do that, but it's just, before lockdown, I was able to take my kids to the zoo with that. I put it on, and I was in my wheelchair, and I was able to like roll around for like 2 or 3 hours with my kids at the zoo. So it was really nice. I think anything that makes your pain less and makes your life more bearable is worth investing in for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's been a really low-key, yeah, it is really nice. It's been a really low-key kind of day. I've just been kind of hanging out at home, not really doing too much. I I've been watching this show on, I think it's on HBO. I have like all the streaming services. Yeah, it's on HBO. It's called Search Party. And I don't know if you guys have seen that one or not, but it's kind of fun because it's a little bit twisted. Like there's some dark elements like murder and kidnapping and all this sort of stuff, but it's also hilarious. So that's one I've been kind of like binging on. But it's one that's kind of hard to watch while you're like crocheting because you have to sort of pay attention, and it's just not, it's not as easy as like Call the Midwife, for instance. I feel like I could listen to that one and crochet for hours, and it's not a big deal. But yeah, what are you guys watching? Like, and do I have mostly crocheters here? Like, oh, I'm down to one. That's okay. um, but I have like groups of different people. So like I have my zebra group that know about this page, and then I have like my crocheter friends, and then I have my friends that are interested in herbalism. So I'm always interested to see like who's here now. I'm wondering who might watch this later. So like if you're watching this later when it's not live, leave me a comment and kind of say like what kind of live stream would you like to see? Because I would be happy to do basically anything. Like I'm happy to talk about whatever. I won't really talk too much about like politics and current events and stuff because we all see so much of that anyway. But if you hear screaming in the background, it's because my daughter is playing video games with my husband. And she hasn't learned to like differentiate between real life and the video game. So she gets super emotionally invested, and there's sometimes screaming. She's just, she's going to be 5 next month. So she's a little intense about her video games. But yeah, I'm not really sure what kinds of live streams to do other than just sort of get on here and see if anybody wants to hear about anything in particular. So Jackie, you don't crochet. I highly recommend learning. I do plan on doing some tutorials if you want to learn. And then herbalism, yeah, I definitely want to do some more herbalism videos. I did a tour of my apothecary, and then I actually have another channel on here called Crow Boutique, and I have one video up. I think it shows you how to make elderberry syrup, and that's it so far. So I am planning on like going through and doing like an herb by herb catalog of videos. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I have a lot of interests, but I don't know which of my interests people are interested in learning about. So herbalism would be super cool. Maybe I could do a live stream like class. I don't know if that makes sense, like where I do like a salve or a syrup and just kind of teach you guys that way. Is that something that people would be interested in? Just let me know. I do better when you like in those videos where it's like just your hands, and so I'm trying to be in front of the camera more like my face so you guys can tell that I'm a real human. But I do like the idea of doing, yeah, like Jackie, you think that would be cool? I think it would be really fun to do kind of like a class. Maybe I could like publish a notice ahead of time that tells you what to bring if you want to make stuff along with me, because there's so many things that we could do. Soaps, we could do lotions, we could do salves, teas. I think for the first one, if I'm doing a live stream, I'll probably do a tea blending class just because that would be really easy. Doesn't really take like, you don't have to have the stove or the setup for it. I'll probably have to get some new little phone holding equipment and maybe a microphone. But yeah, I would love to do that. I think it would be a lot of fun. We could do like plant identification or just kind of basic herbal knowledge, or like what's in my apothecary, what equipment do I use, because I didn't really go through that in my apothecary tour. So that's something. Thank you for the idea, Jackie. I will absolutely make a couple videos and maybe do a live stream class. And then I know that there's a few people like from my yarn group on Facebook. If you are a beginner and you would like to see some tutorials, let me know like what kind of tutorials you want to see. I know there's a lot of tutorials for crocheting online. So it's not something that I'm like in a hurry to make crochet tutorials, but I think herbalism would probably be a really cool one. It's just figuring out how to do the live streams, like what time should I do it and what do I need to have set up ahead of time, because I'm not really that much of a planner. I just kind of, I don't know if you guys have noticed in my YouTube videos. I just kind of do them when I feel courageous enough to do them. So I think that would be cool. Oh, Jackie, you're from the Women Hole. Okay, great. So yeah, I would definitely love to do. Maybe I can do some herbalism that's like directly correlates to wheelchair users, because I know like skin integrity is huge. So like maybe a skin healing salve would be good, or like homemade lotions and things, because I know I've heard so many women lately have been having some trouble with skin integrity. So I would love to do that. We could do like a silver salve. We could do, I mean, yes, great idea. See, that's why I want to know where people are coming from, because now that I know that Jackie's from the Wheel Woman Hole, I can do some wheelchair specific herbal stuff. Like things for circulation, things for skin, things for nerve pain, antispasmodics, those sorts of things. So cool, cool, cool. I should have brought a notebook. Actually, I might have. No, I don't have one with me, but I will. I mean, I can look at this chat later and be reminded, but great idea. I would absolutely love to do that, Jackie. I mean, and if you can think of things that you want help with as a wheelchair user and you're not comfortable putting them in the chat because it's public, you can email me. My email is courtney.swift87@gmail.com, and I'll go ahead and type it in the chat too. So if you come up with any ideas that you want to see, you just let me know, because I know that everybody has their own issues, and there's some things that go along with being a wheelchair user that maybe you don't want to talk about in public, unless we're in the Wheel Women Hole, because we talk about everything in there. Like, I can't think of something that we haven't discussed in that group, which I love. It's like, I'm so grateful for Jessie in that group, because I have had to talk about some things that I never would have ever expected to talk about. And I'm just a part-time wheelchair user, so I can only imagine how much more complicated things get when you're a full-time user and you have the skin issues and the neuropathy. And I know circulation for me is a huge, like if I'm having a bad pain day and I have to use my wheelchair more than normal, I feel like circulation is a huge issue. So that'd be something maybe we could do, like circulation stimulating massage oil, or I don't know. I mean, the ideas are endless. Let's see. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you're dealing with some skin issues, Jackie. I mean, I feel like maybe that's a seasonal thing, like that at this point, because we wear a lot more warm clothes and we're sweating more, that maybe that's one of the reasons that we start having more skin issues. Like I'm having some skin issues myself, although they're not super intense. I have had to deal with some, like the beginning stages of pressure sores. And like that's as somebody who's ambulatory, and I just have really sensitive skin, because if I sit for like an hour or two, and even if I'm shifting my weight, I still sometimes get them. So I know it's, for those of you who don't use wheelchairs and don't understand the struggle, if you're a wheelchair user, one of the most important and dangerous things is skincare. So like if you don't take care of your skin, or even if you are taking care of your skin, but for whatever reason it's sensitive, sometimes you get things called pressure sores, or just a lack of skin integrity where the skin breaks. And then that can cause an issue, especially if you have a spinal cord injury and don't have sensation, because you might not know that it's there until like it's infected, or, there's just a lot that can happen with skin. So Jackie, absolutely, I will make a video. I might actually make some of the salve and then put it in my Etsy shop. If you are interested, my Etsy shop is www.etsy.com/shop/crowboutique. And I'll put that in the chat as well. I don't have my skin salve there right now. I will put it up though, because that might be something. I know for me, it helps a lot. Like I end up with abrasions all the time because I'm a damn klutz. And excuse me. And I feel like maybe that's something I should have in there full time. I didn't used to, but now that I'm a wheelchair user, I realize like how much more valuable a good skin salve can be. So I will definitely put that up in the shop as well. But yeah, for those of you who don't use a wheelchair, it's something that we all deal with, as whether you're ambulatory, part-time, or a full-time wheelchair user, your skin, you have to be careful about. You have to keep it clean, you have to keep it dry, you have to take care of it, and you have to make sure that you don't get any pressure sores. And that's really difficult for people who have spinal cord injuries with a lack of sensation, because if you have a scrape, you just don't know. So, you know, I'm grateful that I do have sensation. It's unfortunate how painful some of these skin issues can be, but I'm grateful for it because I know I have friends in the Wheel Women Hole and other wheelchair user friends that can't feel it, and sometimes it ends up a little bit more serious. So yeah, Jackie, thank you so much for sharing that. Like I'll go ahead and type it in now. It's www.etsy.com/shop/ I can't multitask /Crow Boutique. There you go. So I don't know if that'll actually link or not. You might have to copy and paste it, but it's not in there now, but feel free to send me a message on there if you want to. It's the same price as the Badass Balm, so you could totally just order the Badass Balm and then message me or like put in the customization that you want skin salve, and I'll be like, oh, okay, this must be Jackie, because it might take a little while for me to get it up there. My Badass Balm right now is, I think I have it for $10 and free shipping, so it's not a bad deal. Or it might be $12. I can't remember. Sorry guys, brain fog. But whatever, it'll be the same price. So, you know, if you desperately need a skin salve, just go ahead and do that, and I will send it out later this week for you, because skin is important, and I want to help you in whatever way I can with that. I know calendula cream is really good and expensive at the Whole Foods, so sometimes I use that when I don't feel like making my own salve. But the salve that I make has, let's see, what's it got? It's got lavender, tea tree, myrrh, hemp oil, coconut oil. No, not coconut oil. Olive oil. And it's got myrrh in it, of course. That's why it's called a myrrh salve. And frankincense, which are all very skin healing, and calendula. So it's probably got more skin healing ingredients than just the calendula cream you get at, you know, the herbal section of Whole Foods or Vitamin Cottage or whatever. That stuff is great, but small business, you know. Just a shameless self-plugging here. So anyway, yeah, I think that'd be really cool to do like a salves class. I will probably start out with something really simple, maybe like lip balm, or because the skin salve that I make has so many ingredients, I think it would be difficult for most people to make. So I'm trying to focus kind of like on thanks, Jackie. I'm trying to focus kind of on things that you can make with stuff that you already have at home. You know, like the only thing that I can imagine people probably don't have for like a basic salve would be beeswax, which is really easy to get a hold of. You can find it on Etsy. I'm always plugging those small businesses. Yeah. Jackie said, yes, love it. Plug the small business. Like, that's how I feel whenever I can buy something from a small business instead of like Walmart or Target or Amazon. I love to do that. I know sometimes it's cost prohibitive, so I try to keep my salves and things on my Etsy cheap enough that people can actually afford them, but still be able to make a bit of a profit for myself off of it. So definitely check out Etsy. If you have not been to Etsy, you are missing out on so much. Like the lovely lady who made this little shrug for me, I don't know how well you can see it. She's on Etsy, called Ethos Makes. Her name's Allison, and she's incredibly talented. She has some pretty cool stuff on there. So another small business to plug. I'm happy to do that all day. If you have a small business that you want me to plug, just let me know. I will absolutely put you in front of all 4 of my viewers. Like, I will totally put you in front of my 4 viewers and be like, hey, go shop here. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. I feel like slightly more confident. Ooh, we just went up to 5. I feel slightly more confident having a few people here, because like when I first started, it's just me. I'm like, okay, now what? I told my husband, I'm like, I'm going to do a live stream. And he's like, oh, that's exciting. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. So it's going better than I had hoped, honestly. But yeah, if you guys do have small businesses, you know, whatever it is, let me know. I would love to talk about you. I will talk about you all day long. But yes, Jackie, thank you so much for shopping small, because like, as a small business owner during this time, it's really difficult. And so we can all use support. I'm very fortunate that my business is kind of more of a hobby than an actual job. My health just doesn't allow me to really work as much as I would like to. But I do know several of my friends that own their own businesses are really struggling right now and could really use your help. I know it's January, it's right after the holiday season, so people are kind of like broke. But if you need something, like there's homemade toothpaste, there's organic soaps and things, those are all on Etsy, and that's a wonderful place to get those things. I mean, if you're going to spend $4 on something anyway, you might as well give it to somebody that really needs it, right? But I also just really love supporting people's creativity. Like, oh, I just love it when people are able to express their creativity. So if you can support somebody's dream, I think that you should. And that's why I'm happy to talk about all of you guys. If you have a small business, if you're watching this later and like you have a small business, so you're like, oh man, I want her to talk about my small business, just let me know. Like, still put it in the comments. I will still absolutely mention you when I see your comment in the next video that I make. I'll be like, Tom's roofing. Doesn't have to be related to any of my hobbies. Like, it could be anything. The only thing I can't think of any business that I wouldn't plug. Like, and I'm not trying to get advertising or like funding, and like nobody's sponsoring me. It's just it's like Tom's roofing or Jim's funeral service. I don't know. I'll talk about anything. I'm a total sellout. I will sell your wares all over the YouTube universe. Just if you need somebody to mention you is all. I'm happy to give referrals. But yeah, I usually do it for like businesses that I shop for, or like that are my friends' businesses. But if you're here on my YouTube, then you're my friend, and I'm happy to support you in whatever way I can. So that's watch, I'm gonna get like 1,000 emails from people I don't know. I will plug a funeral service, Jackie. Like, don't tempt me. Like, they probably don't need any help right now, but I'm just saying, like, if you're a small business and your business happens to be a funeral service, I'm pretty sure I said in my like introductory video that I'm a weirdo. So like, this is where you are now. This is what you get for showing up. But yeah, I mean, oh, that's okay, Margie, you're not late. Like, this wasn't scheduled, so like you can't be late to something I just decided to do on a whim. But thank you for being here, and thank you for the birthday wishes. I was just talking about like random plugging people's businesses. So if you have a business, I'm happy to talk about it. Was the whole point of that. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm really good at like starting on one path and then kind of like doing this. Just kind of like, and then eventually sometimes I come back, but not always. Like, sometimes you're like waiting for me to get back to the point and then it never happens. So I'm not going to apologize, because I think that's part of my charm. But like, you're here now, so deal with it. Like, that's just part of being here, I guess. That's just part of dealing with me. I can't imagine. Yeah, Jackie is the same. I can't imagine what it's like to be my husband. I feel so bad, so bad for that guy. I'm sorry. Every time I laugh, the whole computer shakes. I'm sorry, but I can't imagine being married to me. It's got to be the most frustrating damn thing. Like, because I'm always just like, oh, something shiny. Oh, I'm glad you're laughing. I'm just like over here laughing at myself, but I'm like listening to what I'm saying, and I'm like, God, woman, you are all over the place. Like, is this a yarn podcast? Like, are we talking about crochet or like ads or wheelchair? Like, what the is this woman talking about? Well, welcome to the madhouse. This is my little corner of the internet, and it's my birthday, so I do what I want to. But anyway, there was absolutely no point to this. Like, I hope nobody was like expecting there to be an agenda. I've been on here a half hour and I feel like I haven't talked about anything. Let's see, what's something people talk about? Oh, has anybody watched anything good on TV lately? Like, what are you watching? Tell me all about it. I know I mentioned earlier that I'm watching Search Party on HBO, which is really fun. And we watched that Disney movie Soul the other day. It was, oh my God, it's such a good movie. I highly recommend it. Search Party is like, it's kind of like me. It's like a dark humor kind of show. It's pretty funny. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm hilarious. Let's see. Oh, and okay. I need to know, do you guys like the show Lost? I know it's old. We're doing a throwback. I have attempted on 3 separate occasions to watch that show. And I just started my, I think this is my 4th attempt now to watch the show Lost. And I've watched the first episode and I loved it. And I remember feeling this way every time that I have tried to watch it at the first episode. But somewhere halfway through the first season, I have lost interest. So the goal is to watch the whole thing. So like, let me know if you love that show. Like, I need to know who actually loves that show, because I don't know anybody personally, I don't think, that really loves that show. They're like, it's too confusing. Let's see. We got some. Yeah, Soul was amazing. It was like so cute and like heart touching and like beautiful, and then like funny, and the music is great. Like my daughter, she was watching it earlier. Um, the kids watch it on repeat. Like they love that movie. It's so good. If you haven't seen it, please go watch the movie Soul. It's really good. Um, Witches, A Witch's Discovery. Okay, and The Watch. I think I might have heard of The Watch. I don't think I've actually watched it, but I have heard of it. You love Lost, Catherine? I feel like I'm lost when I watch Lost. Maybe that's the point. You're supposed to get lost when you watch Lost. I'm trying so hard, and I love the way that it starts. Like the doctor guy is like so compassionate and brave and handsome, and the pregnant lady is like so pregnant, and then like it's a plane crash and it's so believable, and it like instantly gets weird because there's like some sort of invisible monster in the woods. I don't know. I'm already lost. First episode. But I'm going to try. I'm actually going to put like a little tracker in my notebook and check off every time I watch an episode. But I think I'm going to do like 1 episode a week instead of binging it like I normally binge shows. I think Lost maybe needs to be spread out so you have time to process what the hell you just saw. But I mean, I loved the first couple episodes. I remember loving the first couple episodes and then just getting completely confused. So I will let you know, Catherine, how I feel about it. It's not. It's not. Like I'm like instantly lost. I'm like, wait, there's a guy in the tree and there's an invisible monster, and like, are we? Who's doing what? Like, there's just a lot going on in that show. So I'm gonna try again. We'll see if I succeed this time. Maybe at 34, I finally reached the maturity level needed to get all the way through Lost. I don't know. Um, let's see, what's another? So I have a lot of shows I've been like finishing lately. I haven't quite finished Law and Order SVU. I think I have like the newest season to watch. And then what else have I been on? I've been watching Poldark. Do you guys love that show? Like, oh my God, I love that show. It's like a romance novel, but on TV. My grandma and I are just like obsessed. So I call her and we talk about Poldark and how much we love that very sweet, handsome man. Um, I mean, granted, I'm only on the first season, so like if he turns into a jerk, please don't ruin it for me because I'm so in love right now. And his wife, oh my God, Demelsa's beautiful. But I don't know if you guys watch Poldark or not. That is a great show to like lose yourself in. Not like Lost, where you're actually lost, but like like where you're like a good book, you like get sucked into it and you feel feelings and stuff. It's good. Although I watch so many like dark kind of shows that I'm always expecting something horrible to happen. Like, I don't know, TV has jaded me. Um, I did just finish. Well, no, I didn't finish. I was watching Nurse Jackie and then they took it off. Like, they took it off of Netflix. So now I can't watch Nurse Jackie anymore. And I'm really bummed out because as messed up as that show is, I really love it. And I think it was on season 5. And they took it off, you guys. They took it off of Netflix. Like, I'm so outraged. If you know that it's streaming somewhere else, please let me know because I have to finish that show. I have to. But yeah, those are kind of the shows that I've been not really binging, just kind of like watching, finishing up. Does anybody else get sad when a good show ends? Like when you get done binging the whole thing, you're like, now what do I do with my life? Like, I don't know. I feel like I get lost. I need to get a drink of water really quick. But yeah, well, like it's kind of like when a good book ends too. I don't ever want good books to end. Sorry, guys, I'm a little thirsty. I have to drink these electrolyte drinks because my potassium drops. I have it's called hypokalemia. So it's where your potassium level is really low. So if I don't drink these electrolyte drinks every day, then I can go into like a hypokalemic crisis, which is just super fun. So I basically get to drink sugar water all the time and not feel bad about it is is a joke I tell myself, but that's why my water doesn't look like water. It is water. It's just water with electrolytes in it, or oral rehydration salts is the same thing. But yeah, I know I keep watching shows and then I get to the end of it and then I have such a hard time deciding on a new show. And I don't know if it's because I'm autistic or what, but I like to follow the story all the way through. Like I don't like interruptions, so I don't typically stop watching a show and watch something else. So I just like binge the same show. And so I don't know. I like shows that have a lot of seasons because then I feel like they last longer, but only if they're good shows. So if you guys don't crochet, what do you do for fun? Like what are your hobbies? Oh, yeah, Jackie, I had to take potassium pills once when I was in the emergency room for a hypokalemic crisis, but it didn't it was a really, I can tell you guys about this experience. It was a really bad experience. So what had happened was my potassium dropped. And I don't know if you've had this experience, Jackie, but when your potassium drops, it causes a lot of symptoms that are very similar to a panic attack. Like your breathing is kind of fast and shallow and your heart is racing and you get sweaty. And I have a history of anxiety. And so when I was taken to the emergency room by the EMS, this is before the pandemic. When I was taken to the emergency room, the EMS that was working with me was yelling at me the entire way there to calm down because he thought I was having a panic attack. So that was upsetting because I do have trauma and I have medical trauma. And now I have that, that's extra trauma because I was in the middle of an emergency. And this jerk is just like yelling at me and he's supposed to be there to help me. So I get to the emergency room and, they do, like, they put me on oxygen and they gave me anxiety meds and they gave me, I think they gave me morphine, which I found out I'm allergic to. And they tested my potassium and it was like, I think it was at like 2. And like 4 is like the bottom you're supposed to be. So they gave me potassium pills and an infusion, which burned, by the way. It's not a nice, like if you have to get potassium by an IV, it's horrible. So it turns out that it wasn't a panic attack. It was a hypokalemic crisis. And so now I've had a few now, and usually I can remedy it by like drinking enough potassium or eating high potassium foods like dried apricots and things. But like it gets scary because it turns into a panic attack now because of that experience. I get scared that I'm going to have to go to the hospital and relive that experience of not being believed by the EMS. And, if you're an emergency services worker, like, thank you so much. But also please be more compassionate to people who look like they're panicking. Because even if they are the worst, Jackie. Even if somebody is having a panic attack in the back of your ambulance, like the way to fix that is not with yelling. Like that's not how you deal with somebody who's panicking, It's not like in the movies where you just slap somebody and then they're fine. That's not, that you would have knocked me. Well, it was scary, Margie, because like so when your potassium drops, your muscles actually become paralyzed. And so my hands were stuck like this and I couldn't move. Like all I could do was like breathe. And I was like yelling because I was in pain. Everything hurt. So I would have loved to knock that jerk out, but instead I just filed a formal complaint with the ambulance company that he worked for. And my doctor also filed a formal complaint against him. So at least, I had somebody backing me up. Oh, HBO Max has Nurse Jackie now. Cool. I have that one in Amazon. Awesome. So sorry, because I'm going to move the computer. So if it's blurry for a minute, it's because I have to straighten out my legs. Awesome. I'm going to have to find it on HBO then and watch it because I got so sucked into that show. And then they were like, you have until the 31st of December. And I thought that they were going to let you watch it on the 31st. So like I was ready to binge it on the 31st of December. And then it turned out it was gone. So it was a bummer. So thank you, Catherine. I will I'm so excited that I can watch that show now because I really like it. Um, but yeah, that was my not a panic attack, bad ambulance story. For the most part, though, I've only had like good experiences with EMS workers. You know, I've had them when I've been in the hospital before. The nurses will actually call an EMT to come do my IVs because my little veins are so tiny, and they're the only ones that can ever find a vein on me. So it's nothing against EMTs. It's just that guy was a jerk. It had nothing to do with his status as an EMT. It was just that he's a jerk. So yeah, that was not a fun experience. And ever since the pandemic started, I've been like horrified of the idea of going to the hospital for any reason. Like I go to the hospital so frequently, usually because I have all sorts of different crises, and the idea of going now is just scary. So I've been drinking my electrolytes. See, hey, look, I came back to the path that time. But I've been drinking my electrolytes to avoid that. So far, we're doing good. Like, pain is the only thing I'm really dealing with so far in 2021, and that I can handle. Oh, 8 times. Jackie said she had to get poked 8 times for her blood work last year. I had a nurse try to set an IV in my arm for no joke 2 hours one time. And then they had an EMT come in and he tried to get me in the other arm, and it took him like 20 minutes. And if it's taking the EMT 20 minutes to get a vein, that your veins are just like shot at that point because they usually can get it first try. But something about, and I don't know what your health is like, Jackie, but for me, I have EDS, and something about EDS is like a lot of us tend to suffer from like tiny veins and fragile skin. And so like getting poked once with an IV, I always get like these huge, ugly bruises. And I know a lot of people with classical EDS, like their skin tears and stuff. So getting poked more than once is awful. But yeah, I mean, I've had that same experience with blood work where they just cannot get a vein for whatever reason. I've actually walked out of an appointment before and said, I will come back. I will go home. I will hydrate. I will come back another day because this is not working. Because I just didn't have the tolerance for it. And especially when you're really fatigued, to have somebody stabbing you repeatedly with a sharp piece of metal is really not the most fun. So anyway, I've just been trying to avoid doing anything that might land me in the hospital. Oh, okay. So you were born with spina bifida. I don't really know very much about it. Like I know, so I went through massage school and herbalism school, and so I have a pretty good understanding of like anatomy and physiology and then pathophysiology. But the only thing that I really know about spina bifida, other than the really extreme cases, is that it's like everything else where there's like a spectrum, where some people it only partially impairs their ability to walk, and then some people are completely paralyzed from like a certain point down. So it's really interesting. I've heard and learned so much about different conditions since I joined the Wheel Woman Hole, because there's so many different types of people that use wheelchairs. And I find it so fascinating, like how, even though we have completely different conditions or circumstances, that we have a lot in common, But yeah, I don't think I've really had much experience with spina bifida other than like what I learned in school. I know it's like considered really serious as far as birth injuries and things can go, but yeah, we'll have to talk more when we're in the group checking and just kind of like touch base, because I would love to learn more about it. I would love to be able to serve the spina bifida community as an herbalist. L4, L5. Oh, okay. It's low, but it's okay. I see. Because yeah, it's like, so please correct me if I'm wrong on this, Jackie, but spina bifida is when in the womb the column of tissue does not close around the base of the spine close to the pelvis, and that is left exposed to a certain degree, and a lot of times they do like surgical repairs on it, but it's something that it's like there's some really severe types. Like I know that some are not survivable types of spina bifida, and those who do survive with spina bifida have a lot of different mobility and health issues because it's your spinal column. And again, like I said, I'm not really educated on it very much, but I do know enough to know like it's a really serious disease, and it creates a lot of challenges for people who have it. So yeah, Jackie, I would love to touch base with you and learn more about it and how I can maybe serve the spina bifida community, or even just spread awareness. Maybe there's not much I can do as an herbalist, but to just be more aware of it myself. I know with EDS, not a lot of people know about it either. So it's always interesting to educate people about, your disease. Like, I mean, I was going to say about what's wrong with you. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? Now that is a much longer list than just Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. That's at least a book. But as far as like physical disabilities, like what's wrong with you, and I mean, and I don't really say it that way unless I'm talking about myself, but it is interesting to me that like so many different people are just completely unaware that these things exist. So. Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember learning about that one, Jackie, in pathophysiology, and yeah, it is quite. That's a difficult one because I know that sometimes they don't find out until much later, like you said, and it can cause a lot of worsening complications than if they were to find it, like you said, when you were a day old. So I'm really glad that they found it on your birthday or the day after your birthday, and that you were able to have some, it sounds like, quality care. So I know that some people don't get that. Let's see. You're a hard stick too, Catherine. Yeah, I think it might be an EDS thing to, I mean, not just an EDS thing. Of course, there's other people who have difficult veins. I have one good vein, and she's great. Like, she sticks up above, I call her she because she's on my arm, but she sticks up above, above the surface, and she's real rubbery, and they love that one. But if you can't get that one, girl, forget it. It's horrible. Like, I am just not a fan. I don't mind needles. It's just when they stab you repeatedly. So yeah, Catherine. So from what I understand, the bruising that you get, like even if you're not a hard stick, the bruising that you get and stuff is definitely an EDS thing. Okay, Margie, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I'm so happy that you were here. I hope to see you again soon. Have a blessed day. Margie's leaving us. But yeah, I'm really stoked that I did this, because honestly, I was like so nervous when I started. You can tell when I started, I was like so nervous. And now that you guys hopped on and we're chatting, I feel like it flows a lot better. Definitely inspired by my friend Tracy over at Crochet Rocks, because she just does like live streams all the time. It's like second nature to her, and you can't tell that she's ever been nervous to do anything like that. And so when she does them, I keep thinking I should do that. I bet it's so much less work. So I'm super happy that I finally decided to do that. And what interesting conversation, because we've gone from like crochet, herbalism, TV, spina bifida, EDS, like we're all over the place. Just plug in funeral homes. Just, supporting small business and all that too. So it's definitely been fun. Let's see, I've been on for 48 minutes, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and wrap it up, because I honestly don't even know what else to talk about. Like, we could talk about my dog if you want to. Her name's Daisy. She's really sweet, but she's snoring right now in the other room, so she's not. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad we're your kind of people, Jackie. Yeah, like if your kind of people are people who can't concentrate and forget things and like laugh at themselves, then you're in the right place. I mean, I have a lot of fun with it. Like, it's weird for me because I'm such a social person, but so I will answer the dog question in 1 minute. I don't want to get off track again. I was gonna say, I'm such a social person, and like I actually got sick about a year before the pandemic started, like in 2018, December 2018. So I've been sick for 2 years. I mean, I've had EDS my whole life, but I had a crisis in 2018 that kind of led to my decline, and now I'm trying to claw my way back out of it. So I spent like a year stuck in bed. So before the pandemic ever happened, I had already spent like a year away from people. And so this is me trying to like get back into being a social person, because I used to be like such a social butterfly, and now I don't really want to be around people. Like, I mean, not because of the virus or anything, just because like I've lost my tolerance for people, so I really appreciate this because it's the kind of thing where you can just talk and then, leave. It's very compartmentalized. But to answer your question, Jackie, my dog is a mutt. She's giant. So she is a golden retriever, Rhodesian Ridgeback, and Staffordshire Terrier mix. So she weighs probably 100 pounds, and she is huge and loud and super smart sometimes and super dumb other times. Because I actually got her to be my service dog for my autism, my anxiety, my PTSD. And then I got sick and found out that I have EDS. So now she's my service dog for that as well. And she would probably flunk out of service dog training for most things, but she's perfect for what I need. And she does, she does work for me. We haven't done a lot of public access training yet because she was a rescue. So for the first year or two that we had her, we weren't sure that she was going to be able to be a rescue dog not a rescue dog, a service dog, because she had some anxiety and stuff. So the first year or two, she was just kind of settling in with us. And now that she's settled, like she walks right next to my wheelchair beautifully. She helps me up. So like if I need to stand up from somewhere, she actually stands and creates a stable surface for me to use to stand up. And she wakes me up from nightmares, and she pulls me out of stressful situations or like flashbacks. So like she's an awesome dog, but she she has one flaw, you guys. She loves chasing cats. It's the Rhodesian Ridgeback. She's just a natural born hunter. So she's finally getting broken of that habit, and she can stare at a cat across the street without tearing off after it. So we are still working on her training. She will be 4 in August. So she's a really good dog. Yeah, I don't know where I'd be without her. She's seriously my best friend. And I call her a bish all the time. I'm like, my best friend's a total bish. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, you understand like the losing the tolerance for people. I don't know what that's about. I used to love being around people, and I was terrible by myself, and now I don't I don't want to be around people anymore. Like I just kind of want to I like to hang out with my dog and my family. That's like and do this. This is nice. Like I don't mind this at all, but yeah. Yeah, it is just a group of friends chatting. It's kind of strange because it's like there's only one person that can be seen. So it's like a Zoom meeting with yourself, and then you have voices in your head that are these little chat boxes off to the right. You guys are just the voices in my head right now. So sorry about it. It's a little crazy in there, but no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's kind of nice because it feels like socialization without having to go anywhere and without any kind of expectation. Like sometimes as an herbalist, like trying to educate people, like creating classes and workshops and seminars and stuff, if somebody doesn't show up to that, it sucks. Like it's so heartbreaking. But if somebody doesn't show up to this, you're just talking to yourself, so that's fine too. But I am really glad that a few of you guys showed up because it's awesome to have that support. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because we've been on for almost an hour, and it is getting close to my daughter's oh no, it's only 6. Well, it's getting close to dinner time. Can't believe I forgot about dinner. So I'm going to go and cook something, I have no idea what, and have dinner with my family for my birthday. Oh, unless my husband might be cooking right now. I heard him in the kitchen. That's probably what that was. So anyway, I'm going to go finish celebrating my birthday. I appreciate you guys being here so much. Like, I'm so happy that I did this, and I will do it again. Again, if you have ideas for a live stream or a video you want to see, leave me a comment, like let me know, or email me. And I will absolutely respond to any emails I get for sure. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget that you are precious, sacred, beloved beings, and that I am so happy you exist. So take care of yourselves and each other. Don't forget to drink water, wash your hands, wear your masks, and have a good night. Thank you guys so much for coming. Bye.